Denver dominates Game 7, and it's on to the second round for the Nuggets, and a meeting with the top seed in the West, Oklahoma City. We'll have it for you right here on TNT. Disappointment for the Clippers. This one got out of hand in the third quarter, and Los Angeles could not recover.
Another year, another disappointment. The Clippers just lost another Game 7, and again, to a familiar Denver Nuggets team. James Harden, that's now what, 4 Game 7 losses with 4 different franchises? And y'all was saying he was better than D-Wade? Y'all got some nerve, man. And Kawhi, when he's healthy, he shows up in playoff moments. Key word, healthy. So what's up, YouTube? It's Armashadamas. And pardon if my voice goes in and out. I'm recording this after I came from the Kendrick concert. By the way, check out that vlog. Yeah. But this video was supposed to have been about the Nuggets had they lost Game 7, because let me say, I'm the biggest hater. I mean, I knew they was going to win, but I didn't want to see them win. And same thing for the Clippers. So it was one or the other. But since we're on that topic, let's just talk about the teams I don't want to see to win the chip. I don't want to see the Celtics win for obvious reasons. The Knicks, but now that I think about it, I'm from New York, so it actually doesn't sound that bad. And plus, they're currently up 2-0 in the series, and yo, the city's gonna cave in if they make it to the finals, man. But let's also talk about the Warriors. I don't want them to win. And yes, I'm hate watching. Let's believe I'm hate watching. So Ant-Man, Shay, Spider, I know y'all down 0-2, but y'all better do something about this. Sorry, y'all, I got a bit carried away. Where was I? Oh yes, the Clippers. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I also do wrestling content on this channel, so yeah, if you into that, tune in. So let's talk about how did we get here. A team with talent, hype, and Hall of Fame names, and absolutely nothing to show for it. They've been underachieving long before Kawhi and Harden showed up. Remember the Lob City era? CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan? Yeah, they never got past the second round. That era flopped, man. And now it's the same story, just different faces. So in this video, we're walking through every season from Kawhi's arrival to Harden's latest Game 7 no-show to figure out how this super team or duo or whatever you want to call it just turned into another playoff letdown. So if I forget anything, please just comment that down below. And yeah, let's get into it. We start this story in 2019. Kawhi had just came off an incredible playoff run, hitting crazy game winners. Beating the Warriors in the finals, bringing Toronto their first NBA championship, earning finals MVP in the process. And let's be honest, Kawhi ain't care about that city, man.
If the Raptors win the NBA title, what do you think this will mean for Canada and the Toronto Raptors?
I'm really not sure. I guess you really have to ask somebody on the street or one of our fans.
But anyway, with 2 chips already under his belt, Kawhi rode into the 2019 free agency as the ultimate prize. Kawhi ain't speak much, but what we did know was that Kawhi wanted to be home. And home meant, come on now, the one and only Los Angeles Lakers, man. At least that's what we thought. But after having the NBA world wait, Kawhi finally made his decision to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers. I'll never forget that day. Being in North Carolina, enjoying some southern hospitality. Then I went to go take a nap. I woke up in the middle of the night, my phone blowing up, and then I seen it.
And this is what we doing. This is what we do. I'm not mad at anything. I respect the decision, but
I was pissed because how you gonna pass up the Lakers, man? LeBron and AD to go to the Clippers? Bro, what are you doing? But he wasn't coming alone. The Clippers pulled off a blockbuster move, which is now looked at one of the dumbest trades in NBA history, landing Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Pairing the 2 Cali boys on the little brother team, okay, I guess. But the media was riding at Kawhi high, claiming they were the superior team in LA, claiming Kawhi was the king of LA. They even had the Clippers winning it all. They was even comparing the Clippers to the 96 Bulls. Yeah, that noise got even louder after the first game of the season when they beat the Lakers. And it was worse after they beat the Lakers on Christmas Day. The Clippers went 44-20 before the league stopped due to the Defensive Player of the Year of the next couple of years, COVID-19. Everything paused. No fans, no home court, just pure hoops in a Disney bubble. But the Clippers, they were still considered the favorites. Kawhi was locked in. PJ looked like he was finally setting into that second option role. They handled Dallas in the first round, even though Luka gave them that work. That step back game win in game 4, legendary.
Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
But it's what happened next that changed everything. Second round up 3-1 on the Denver Nuggets. 3 straight chances to close them out and they choked. Bad. Blew double-digit leads in back-to-back games. In Game 7, Kawhi had 14 points. Paul George hit the side of the backboard. Jokic and Murray ran them off the court like they weren't even supposed to be there. All that hype, gone. All that King of LA stuff, all that talk, dead. The Clippers didn't even make the conference finals. And the Lakers, they ran through the bubble, walked out with the ring in the same bubble. So while Braun and AD were popping bottles, Kawhi and PG were back home, silent. The memes were ruthless. Doc Rivers got fired, and just like that, that super team era in LA had its first real crack. But speaking of that Lakers title run, one of the teams they torched on their way to the finals, James Harden and the Houston Rockets. Our second character in this story. Coming into the 2019-2020 season, Harden was still putting up video game numbers. 36 a night, MVP conversations, step back, foul baiting. He was unstoppable in the regular season. But behind the scenes, things in Houston were getting shaky. Harden didn't vibe with Chris Paul anymore. The chemistry was cooked. So what did the Rockets do? They panicked. Shipped CP3 to OKC and brought in Russell Westbrook. 2 ball-dominant guards, both used to running their own teams. It was a fun experiment for a little while. But Harden and Russ had their moments. They even got the 4th seed in the West. They beat OKC in a tight 7-game series. Shout out to Harden for that clutch block in Game 7. But in the next round, they ran into LeBron and AD. And that's where the dream ended. The Lakers absolutely cooked them. 5 games, done. Russ couldn't shoot, Harden looked gassed, and the whole small ball, no center thing, yeah, it didn't age well. But by the end of it, you could see it on Harden's face. He was over it. That offseason, Harden showed up to camp out of shape, hit the strip club, made it real clear he wanted out of Houston. It was ugly. The Rockets tried to play it cool, but Harden wasn't hearing it. 2 weeks into the season, he straight up said, this team isn't good enough. Next thing you know, he's on a plane to Brooklyn, reuniting with KD, teaming up with Kyrie, and forming one of the most stacked offenses ever. Meanwhile, over in LA, the Clippers were trying to bounce back from that bubble embarrassment. New coach in Ty Lue. PG said he was back with his trainer. He had his MVP season. Sorry, excuse me. Was I born yesterday? Because when did PG win MVP? But anyway, Kawhi was still Kawhi, quiet, methodical, efficient. But let's not forget, the 2020-2021 season was weird. It was shortened because of the bubble. COVID was still a factor. Games were getting postponed. A lot of teams never found their rhythm, and health was everything. Harden adjusted quick in Brooklyn. He was a lead playmaker, putting up triple doubles, and the Nets looked scary. But then came the injuries. Kyrie went down, Harden pulled his hamstring, and just like that, Brooklyn went from the finals favorite to just hoping KD could save him. In Game 7 versus the Bucks, KD dropped 48 and nearly pulled it off. We all know what happened here. Nets fans, I am so sorry. But Harden was a shell of himself. He was literally dragging that leg around. Another postseason, another excuse. Meanwhile, Kawhi and the Clippers were actually looking real solid. They survived a tough Game 7 battle with Luka and the Mavs in the first round. Kawhi was balling. Then in the second round versus Utah, he posterized Derek Favors and dropped 31 in Game 4. And then boom, torn ACL, out for the rest of the playoffs. The Clippers somehow still made it to their first ever conference finals thanks to PG finally showing up. But without Kawhi, no shot. So yeah, both guys, 2 different situations, same ending. Injuries, missed chances, another year without a ring. Let's start with Kawhi. Or actually, we can't, because bro didn't play at all this season. Still recovering from that ACL tear, no timetable, no real updates, just silent. PG held it down for a little, but he got hurt too. By the time the Clippers got to the play-in, it was basically Reggie Jackson and vibes. They lost to the Wolves in the NBA Finals. You see the way they was going crazy. Then they lost to the Pelicans. Season over. No Kawhi, no PG, no real shot. Meanwhile, Harden was making noise again, not on the court, off it. things in Brooklyn started to get weird. Kyrie refused to get vaxxed. KD was in and out with injuries. And Harden, yeah, he was checked out. Mid-season, he pulled the plug again. Didn't like the situation, didn't like the effort, and got himself traded to Philly. I mean, I thought that was a win-win deal at the time. Was I wrong? But anyway, we got Harden in his third uniform in 2 seasons, teaming up with Joel Embiid. And once again, folks were talking themselves into the idea. This is the best big man Harden's ever played with. They can win the East. This is the one. Even comparing the duo to Kobe and Shaq. And for a few games, it looked legit. But then came to the playoffs. They got past Toronto in the first round. But in the second round versus Miami, Harden disappeared. 11 points in the elimination game. Didn't even try in the fourth quarter. It was embarrassing. Meanwhile, Kawhi was watching the whole thing from a suite, recovering, resting, quiet. So once again, neither guy made it past the second round. One was hurt, the other just ghosted. Different jerseys, same old story. Alright, so now we're in the 2022-2023 season. Kawhi is finally back. He eased into the season. Load managed like crazy. Barely played back-to-backs. But when he was out there, he was cooking. Mid-range was automatic. Defense was solid. And for a minute, Clipper fans was like, hey, yo, this might be the year. Meanwhile, James Harden was getting comfy in Philly. Still dishing dimes. Still flopping for fouls. He and Embiid were clicking. And Joel ended up winning MVP that year. People started talking again. The Sixers could come out the East. This Harden's different. You know, the usual. But back to the Clippers. Midway through the season, they added another piece. Russell Westbrook. He got bought out after a disappointing run with the Lakers and landed with the Clippers. And once Kawhi went down in the playoffs, it was all on Russ against the Suns. Game 1, he was everywhere, blocking shots, grabbing boards, talking trash. It was vintage Brody energy. He averaged 23, 7, and 7 that series, but he couldn't do it alone. PG never played, Kawhi only gave him 2 games, and by game 5, the Suns had wrapped it up. Another first round exit. Meanwhile, Harden actually had moments. Dropped 45 in game 1 versus Boston, hit the game winner in game 4, and folks was ready to say he's back. Then came game 6 and game 7. Folded like a lawn chair, 9 points in game 7. Another playoff disappearance. Tatum dropped 51. Doc Rivers got fired again, and Philly was back to the drawing board. So for both Kawhi and Harden, 2023 gave us just enough to believe, then yanked it away. Same results, same letdowns, different uniform, still no rings. Now we're in the 2023-2024 season, the all-in season. Let's start with Harden, because this man had the NBA offseason in a headlock. After another Game 7 flameout, he picked up his $35 million player option, but let's be real, he only did it so the Sixers could trade him, preferably to the Clippers. And Daryl Morey, that was supposed to be his guy. They go way back, Houston days, loyalty. But Harden felt like Morey played him. He took a pay cut the year before, thought there was an understanding, and when it came time to get the bag, Morey hit the brakes. So what did Harden do? He flew to China and dropped a shoot promo like he was CM Punk in 2011. All eyes on him, no script, just straight heat.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I would never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I would never be a part of an organization that he's a part of again. Thank you, man.
The league fined him $100K. He showed up late to training camp, skipped media day, and made it clear, I don't with this man. Eventually, the Sixers gave in and shipped him to the Clippers. Newly acquired, he addressed the media and dropped one of the coldest delusional quotes ever.
I'm not a system player. I am a system.
Now, LA had 4 names: Kawhi, PG, Russ, and James Harden. All Cali boys, stacked on paper, but that paper ain't ever won a playoff series. They had some ups, went on a solid mid-season run. Kawhi looked elite. Harden found his groove as a playmaker. PG was doing his job, and folks were back to saying this might be the Clippers' year. But then the playoffs hit. Round 1, Mavericks, Luka and Kyrie. Kawhi played 2 games, then the knee flared up again, out for the rest of the series. PG and Russ did what they could, but without Kawhi, the pressure was on Harden. And in game 5, with the series tied 2-2, Harden gave him 7 points on 2 for 12 shooting. That was the backbreaker. Then they lost the next game too. Series over in 6. First round exit. The Clippers pushed all their chips in and once again came up empty. New season, new arena, $1 billion palace, the Intuit Dome, private suites, LED lights, mad bathrooms, luxury, everything. And that massive fan wall behind the basket, poetic, really, because this whole season felt like the walls were closing in. Let's start with the roster. Paul George was up for an extension. The Clippers didn't want to give him the full max. PG walked straight to the Philadelphia 76ers, the same team James Harden just left. Low-key, ex-girlfriend vibes. Russell Westbrook, he signed with the Denver Nuggets in the offseason, so when the Clippers ran into Denver in the playoffs, not only were they facing Jokic and Murray, they had Russ right there talking shit from the bench, and you know it was personal. Headed into the season, it was Harden, Norman Powell, Zubac, and a patchwork rotation, waiting on Kawhi. And when Kawhi finally returned 34 games into the season, he wasn't superhero Kawhi, but he was still steady, still reliable. Norman Powell stepped up, he was playing like an all-star. Zubac had a career year, rebounding, rim protection, setting the tone inside. And since there was no clear number 2 team in the West behind the Thunder, people started saying, watch out for the Clippers. Then came the playoffs. They were matched up with the Nuggets, and going into this series, there was no definitive favorite in my opinion. It could have went either way, and that's what happened. Game 1, Nuggets took it, but Harden dropped 32, setting the tone. Game 2, Kawhi went vintage, 39 points. Clippers tied the series 1-1. Game 4, Aaron Gordon crushed the vibes with a game-winning dunk to make it 2-2. That was crazy, yo. But let's fast forward to Game 7. Steve Ballmer flew Clipper fans out to the Ball Arena trying to will his team over the hump. And just real quick, shout out to him, W owner. But once the game tipped, it was curtains. The Clippers got blown out, and the crazy part, the Nuggets handled them without Jokic or Murray even going off. They didn't need to. Kawhi gave them 22, tried to keep it alive, but Harden?
Wait! Somebody smell that shit!
7 points? I mean, I knew I should have bet his under on FanDuel, yo. Sponsor me, by the way. But no answer, no presence, just another postseason flameout. And while that was happening, Russ was hanging on the rim, talking shit, loud, animated, and absolutely loving it. And honestly, who could blame him? So what now? So what now for the Clippers? They've got a brand new arena, no banners, no playoff success, no real identity, just vibes, regrets, and memories of what could have been. Kawhi's under contract, but let's be honest, he's not the same. Still great, but the health is always in question. Harden, he's got a player option. And after another quiet exit, do you really want to run it back? The team's expensive, their picks are gone. They had windows, plenty of them. Moments where it could have all come together, but every time something just shut it. Injuries, Game 7 no-shows, missed opportunities. Each year, the window cracked open and slammed shut just as fast. The Lob City era flop, the Kawhi PG Harden chapter might have been the worst, because this time, there were no excuses left. They had the names, they had the hype, they had the chances, but never the results. So what now? Honestly, sad. Who am I kidding? And that's all, y'all. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what do you think is next for Kawhi, Harden, and the Clippers. I also do wrestling content on this channel, so tune into that if you like that, and check out my recent basketball video where I talk about if this is the end of Giannis's time with the Bucks. I also run a podcast with 3 of my homies where we talk about all hoops. And until then, y'all be good.
What can I say? Mamba out.